Hey everyone, so for my project I chose the Wyandotte Group. It's a medical publishing firm based out of Thoroughfare, New Jersey, and I got an interview with Peter Slack, who is the CEO and owner of the company. So just a little company background. It was founded in 1923 by Walter Slack. It started out as a two-person company. Him and his son managed medical associations for different medical groups. Eventually, he bought different journals from those different associations, and this led to them becoming a print publisher eventually. And so today, the Wino Group as a whole is a print and digital medical information and education company, and it consists of three parts, which is Slack Incorporated, which has the digital platform Helio, AMS, which is their medical meetings company, and Vindico, which handles medical education. And just a little background on Peter Slack. He first began working in the mailroom in his youth. Then he moved into doing sales for the books and journals division, which then led to him managing the entire book division. After that, he became a VP of some division and eventually became the CEO in his mid 30s. Now he is 62 years old and he claims to be semi-retired, but he's definitely still active in the organization and is there almost every day. So the first question I asked was who is responsible for strategy of the Wino Group, and I got a pretty generic answer. There's four main people: Peter Slack, the CEO; John Carter, the COO of Slack and AMS; there's Rob Escrow, who's the COO of Indico; and there's Daryl Blood, who's the CFO. So almost the entire C-suite. But they also said their staffs are also heavily involved in the strategic process as well. So my next question was, what do you use strategy for at the YNO Group? Uh, the answer I got was they use it in both long and short-term planning activities, whether this be 1, 3, 5, 10 years out. This includes looking at both top line and bottom line goals. Uh, this is similar to the approach we used in class where we had the 1, 3, and 5 year timelines. And I thought it was just interesting how other organizations kind of mimic what we're doing in class, because it's cool to see it being used practically in the real world. So I asked, what does the actual process look like to Peter, since he has a completely different perspective than what his COOs see. So what he sees is that it starts at the top and then the strategy funnels down throughout the organization. It always starts with a financial analysis with Daryl Blood, who's the CFO. And then from there, they involve the COOs and do SWOT analyses of various parts of the industry and markets they may enter. From there, Peter says he gives direction to the COOs, and then from there, the COOs develop different action plans and collaborate with their staff, who then direct more direction down towards lower level management. And from there, strategy becomes fully fleshed out within the organization. So this question kind of builds off what I said before. It's sort of just showing how it's communicated down the chain of command. You can see where Peter communicates the financial analysis with Daryl. Then he goes to the COOs, who sort of make a broad strategic plan, which they give down to different divisional managers, whether it be marketing or IT. And then from there, they create more detailed action plans for lower management. So I asked Peter if there's any common issues he finds when trying to implement strategy, and he said the most common one is trying to get everyone in the organization focused on the future instead of the now. It's more about removing complacency and trying to create a forward-focused mindset, which is it's difficult. You have to find the right people to do that, but it's also a concern of upper management and the strategy put in place and how you communicate your message. And he said the solution for this, for him at least, is to involve as many people in the planning process as possible so you can get everyone to buy into this whole future focused mindset. So I also asked about how the strategy has evolved over time with such a unique and diversified business. Peter told me that first it was very simple with Slack as a print publisher, but then as it turned into AMS as a meetings company and Vindico as an education company, and finally they had the online platform. It was a completely different company after all these different changes and acquisitions and diversifications happened. And so he just commented that diversification really forces your strategy to evolve over time, and the Wino Group strategy has evolved immensely since its inception, and strategy is always evolving. My perspective is that the print to digital shift was probably the biggest factor in strategy evolution. Competing in the digital space is so much different than competing in print journals, and at least from my time working there, it just seems like a different company than what I remember from when I was younger. So I asked Peter if you could change one thing about the company, what would it be? He answered with what I thought he would. The silo mentality at the Wino Group has always been a problem. This is basically each department is their own silo, as you can see in the chart. They refuse to share resources in some ways. There could be a lack of communication in many different ways. And they're also focused on their own goals instead of the broader company goals. He didn't offer too many solutions since this has always been a problem, and I'm sure it will continue to be until there's any real solutions thought out. But what I believe could help is encouraging collaboration. It's important to build relationships between these different departments. And it's always important to make your goals group oriented so everyone has a common purpose to work towards. So I asked for some final thoughts that Peter had at the close
Hey,
of the interview. And what he had to offer was that
go to one sec.
the industry
I have
is
to stop
always
at the exact
changing.
right time.
I'm sure the shift to digital will not be
I
the
have to record it.
last major change in the publishing industry, there will always be something else that is evolving and that we need to adapt to. And he said that this is important because we need to keep investing in key areas that where the industry is heading, whether it be programmatic advertising or medical social networks. We just don't know what the future holds, but he was very optimistic about it. And that's very important as the CEO because he is the leader of the company and everyone looks up to him.